7 o'clock. I will call this meeting to order. This is the October 3rd, 2018 meeting of the Shelburne DRB. The first item on our agenda is public comment. Is anybody here who'd like to make a comment on any topic not otherwise included on the agenda?
I would love to say that it was awesome that
You have to
Rice. I gotta
speak
go
into
there.
that.
I have to say it's not on the agenda, but that it was great. Rice Lumber opened on Monday, and it's a fantastic. You know, the whole place was designed well, and the layout's fantastic. And I just am happy that it's there. That's all I needed to say about that.
Okay, thank you.
And you guys did a great job, as you know, design review department. It's great.
Any board members have any conflicts of interest on any items on the agenda today? No. Everybody who's here, just a reminder to sign in. There is a sheet, there should be, so we know who was here. Thank you.
While we do that, I'm going to make a public comment. Joanna has announced her resignation, and she'll be leaving us after this meeting tonight. I want to thank her for her guidance through some difficult times, and did a great job. We're going to miss you.
Thank you. I will miss this too. But, you know.
Best wishes.
And best of
Thank
luck
you.
in your new
Appreciate it.
endeavors.
Thank you. So with that, we will turn to item 3, which is the approval of minutes. We have minutes from the special meeting, the site visit that we had on September 19th, 2018. Does anybody have any comments on those? Because I just had one in that, so the first paragraph under number 2, the last sentence. As written, it doesn't actually make much sense to me. I think I understand what it's trying to say. So it says, regarding sidewalks, Gallipo stated that installing a sidewalk with respect to the buffer, the regulations and the Shelburne Natural Resource and Conservation Committee required, plus the stone walls and ledges along the property would be extremely challenging. So I wonder if we might replace with respect to with given. So regarding sidewalks, it was stated that installing a sidewalk, given the buffer, the regulations, the committee requirements, the stone walls and the ledges, would be extremely challenging. Does that make sense or not?
Agreed.
Sounds good.
And then under adjournment, it says that there was unanimous voting of 6-0, but I thought that we were all there, so it should be 7. I mean, it's a minor thing, but. Okay.
Boy, are we gonna miss you.
I know.
So I would,
these to you. You want to take it while you're, you be our third party reviewer?
so I will make a motion to accept those minutes with the changes that I just mentioned.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So the second minutes are the minutes of the substantive meeting that we had on September 19th. Does anybody have any changes to those? No. So,
I would make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
I will second that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. So we're a little ahead of time, but if there is anybody here, the next item on our agenda is application SP 99-01R1 /CU 99-05R1, which was continued from our previous meeting. Is there anybody here to talk to that? Yes.
There are.
So,
4 people here tonight, just in case
Okay, so I will
There
just.
are any questions?
Okay, I wanted to make sure you were here. So this is an application by Civil Engineering Associates on behalf of Bruce and Susan, sorry. And is it Thibaud? Thibaud. For a conditional use and site plan approval to expand a vehicle sales and repair business and reconfigure access. The property is at 85 Executive Drive and is in the mixed-use district and the Stormwater Overlay District. And you're here to give us an overview, explanation.
Any swearing in required?
That is required, indeed. Would you raise your right hand, please?
Everybody.
Everybody who is going to give evidence, please raise your right hands. Do you all hereby swear or affirm that the evidence that you will give in the cause under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury?
I do.
Thank you.
Very good. To introduce myself, I'm Dave Marshall from Civil Engineering Associates. We have Steve Cradell here, the architect for the project. You mentioned Stacy Thibaud, owner-operator of Al Martin Volvo, and Mike Koch from our office, who assisted in the preparation of the application. And in this particular case, we'll start with an overview of the property. This is located on Route 7. Most recent construction here is Route 7. North is up on this particular plan. Across the way is the new AutoMaster parking facility, and this is the existing Al Martin Volvo adjacent to the drugstore. Kinney's, thank you. And out of all that, it basically has frontage on Route 7 and access onto Executive Drive. And this particular application seeks to do renovations to the building, basically make the client experience better and more efficient than it exists today, working closely with the Volvo management in regards to how this particular project is moving forward. Things that are associated with the project is basically improved circulation as far as client visitation and drop-off vehicles. But we also have new sales entrances into the building and new places for vehicle presentation. So we're looking to basically improve that. Relative to pedestrian circulation, we have connectivity now from the building out to the Route 7 sidewalk, very similar in nature to the Kinney Drugs next door. And I think in this particular case, I might turn this over to Steve Cradell just to give you a little highlight as far as at least what's happening with the building itself so that you can get a full flavor of the characterization of the proposed improvements.
Thank you. So I'm Steve Cradell. We basically what we're doing is making this it's essentially a garage or a drive-through where the customer is going to come up, they'll drop their car off, they'll be met by an agent who will come out, take the keys, and then they'll go to see the service manager. And so from here, then the service agent can take the car and bring it into the garage. And so right now, people come up and they park and they go into the sales. This is the main sales entrance. Over time, because it's just going to take people a while to get used to it, this will be the sales entrance. And this on this side will be the service entrance. And a lot of this, what we're doing here is part of the branding with Volvo. So they want this to be a similar experience at this Volvo as they are across the country. And so having this drive-through, but then also refacing that ground face or the split face block with new metal panels. And it's going to be with the white metal panels on almost the majority of the building that's facing Route 7. So it's really dressing up the building and making the customer experience better. That's what we're looking to do.
I think at this point, Ravi, would you like to mention anything in regards to the staff report as far as what you had presented to the board?
Sure. Staff hasn't noted many issues with the proposal. Staff does appreciate the revisions made in between the 19th DRB meeting and today. One thing to note is this is the inclusion with the revision of these paved circular pads in front of the proposed structure. And that under section 1980.7, the applicant is allowed to temporarily display motor vehicles in that area. Staff sees no qualm with that, but provided with 1980.7 that this is supposed to be presented in a neat fashion. And would defer to the DRB in determining what a neat fashion is and how presenting the vehicles in a neat fashion would encompass. Secondly, let's see, staff also noted for parking requirements under section 1960.4, especially bicycle parking, the applicant hasn't included the number of bicycle spaces with the U-shape bicycle parking part of their proposal, and that's something that the applicant can provide when they apply for a zoning permit.
Perhaps if we can just address the bicycle parking, I'll have Mike Koch discuss with the board the computations.
Hi, good evening. I'm Mike from Civil Engineering. The existing dealership is about 12,900 square feet, and we're proposing a 770 square foot addition. And one vehicle parking space is required for every 300 square feet of use. So that brings us to 43 spaces, and 10% of that would be required for bicycle parking. And we did propose a bike rack on the south side of the building here on this paved surface here. So we would be required to provide 4 bicycle parking spaces. Currently, there's one inverted U rack proposed for the bicycle parking.
Mike, does that provide 4 spaces?
I guess that depends on how you arrange the bicycles.
Awesome. Thank you.
So I guess we'll open this up to questions from the board at this point with regard to anything that it saw in the staff report or anything that it saw in its review of the application package.
Hey, I have a question. Will the new Volvo Experience change the lighting?
So primarily, lighting is intended to remain the same. Steve, is there anything else as far as lighting?
So the building itself, the Volvo sign, all that doesn't change?
The Volvo sign at the street?
On the building itself, will the building have a different lighting facade from the street as we view it at nighttime?
The sign on the, from the elevations that you see, that's not going to be an illuminated sign.
Okay.
It will be, right now, there's, like where the car vehicles are, there's some spotlights on the ground. It's going to
Okay.
be similar lighting for that, but we're not going to do any backlit signs, and the sign at the street is not going to be self-illuminated either.
Okay.
Stacy?
Yeah. Volvo's required to have, it will say Al Martin on one side, and then there's a Volvo insignia sign on the south side.
Okay.
We've already talked with Volvo. They know that we can't have, backlit signs. They're going to accommodate that, but we will address the, square footage of the recommendations for the signs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And the pedestals for, I don't, or whatever you want,
The,
yeah, what do you want, what did you call them again?
We'll call them pods.
The pods.
Yeah, we
the
call them
pods.
pods.
Okay. How will the pods be lit at night?
They won't be lit at night.
They won't be
They
lit?
won't be lit at night.
Okay.
No, we're not adding any additional lighting. We're going to kind of reuse the lighting that we already have in place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Dave, it looks like you're going from 3 handicap spaces down to 2. And it looks like you used to have one on the north side, and now you'll just have 2 on the south side. And I just wondered if that was intentional, or if you think you would need one on the sales side and the
So as far as at least the number,
Yeah,
with
the
the
number,
43 required,
yeah.
obviously 2 is the
Yeah.
number, typically 1 for every 25, one
Yeah.
being van accessible and the other being a regular accessible space. As far as their locations, we're typically obligated to provide the closest or most reasonable means of access into the building. And Steve, is there any particular amenities or at least accessible components that make this particular side more favorable?
There's a sliding door, self-operating door.
Okay.
Okay.
So, a handicapped person, if they want to buy a car, they have to go in through the service entrance.
Yeah.
How, I thought you said that sales is on the north side and service is on the south.
Temporarily, so there's 2 entrances. There's a sales side entrance, and there's a sales side entrance, actually. Can I go?
Yes.
So you see the drive-through is here.
I can't do that.
That's fine. Okay. So the drive-through is here. There's a door here. What we're going to try to do in the beginning is to educate our customers, and there will be signage that they can enter from both sides of the building.
Okay.
And we have that now. I mean, this is all, but we're encouraging our service customers to come in here. But there obviously is customer parking here. It's not always service customers. So that's the connectivity here. So you can enter into the sales department here, or you can enter into the service department here. So there's actually 2 entrances on that side.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
thank you.
Sorry.
So I have a question on your pods. So they're shown on the site plan as being paved, so how do you drive the vehicles to those? Just over grass, or are you gonna have?
Not
any
after a rainstorm. No. it's-
winter plowing paths to them?
We may not use them in the winter.
Okay.
It's not an ideal situation in any case for us, but it's, it's a requirement by mobile, and we need to display out front.
I mean, I think having the pods makes it cleaner, than if they were just kind of randomly putting cars out there. So,
It's a nice layout, the way it's staggered
Yeah.
like that.
That was done on purpose.
Yeah, yeah, it's nice.
We told Mike to put them in a straight line. It worked out perfect.
So when I looked at what was provided for the last meeting, the one question I had was about the trees. There was something about trees would need to be removed or relocated, but I wasn't sure if that had changed with, and you don't seem to have a problem, Ravi, with the landscaping or?
At the moment, staff does not have any issues with the landscaping. The landscaping was an issue with when it came to display, in conjunction with landscaping, and that if outdoor it's this weird contrary bylaws that if things are going to be displayed outdoors and they have to be screened effectively from the adjacent parcels, but however, motor vehicles are permissible under section 1980.7, so one has to be reconciled with the other. So at the moment, staff has no issues with the landscaping screening as of right now. The berm on the southern edge of the property, staff sees that possibly as effective screening, depending on the height of the berm. That's something that the applicant can probably discuss more. But I'll leave it to them to talk more about the screening, if that was something that they had noted.
The existing use to the south of the property is also commercial, and my understanding of the bylaw was screening against primarily residential adjoining uses, so the two are the same use. And the berm to the south also is the southern side of the proposed stormwater treatment channel. That's really all I have to say about that.
Anybody in the audience who would like to make a comment? No. Okay, so then what will I do? I'll make a motion to finalize the record and close the hearing
Second.
for, thank you, for conditional use application CU 9905R1 and site plan application SP 99-01R1. And I guess I'll make the motion to direct staff to prepare a decision indicating approval as well of this aforementioned applications as depicted on the application materials prepared by Civil Engineering Associates, and with the conditions that a zoning permit is required before any land development can commence. I think you've probably addressed the bicycle parking, but that should be, I suppose, still put in writing with that zoning permit application. And no more than 4 vehicles can be temporarily displayed at any time within 170 feet of the edge of the Shelburne Road right-of-way. So those 3 conditions.
I would come up with 170 feet.
Staff determined that roughly based on the distance from the edge of the right-of-way to approximately the edge of this display area right here.
So we can't have any cars out front.
Right.
I mean, why would we put the box there?
Okay, you said you could do
Four, but no.
No more than 4. This was a suggestion by staff in order for the DRB to determine neat, essentially,
We
under.
have a plan here that has 4 pods.
Mhm.
And do we have to have those dimensioned out, or are we good with just the plan depicting it?
I guess the applicant would request that the board reflect its decision on the plan that's before it. Conditions of approval can be tricky to undo
I
at
know,
points in the
that's-
future.
I know.
And we don't know where things may take us in the future. So I guess in regards to respecting at least flexibility for the property owner based on things that may change in the future, but at the same time to reflect or at least to approve based upon the site plan, I think is generally where we'd like the board to go with this.
What does the board think if we strike line 3, item 3?
That's the limit.
Yeah, that's just the whole thing, because again, the plan has it.
I will say that the logic behind the 4 was 1 car per pod, but
Okay.
staff, you could see that 2 is still neat per pod. It's really a suggestion up to your determination of what is considered to outdoor display, temporary outdoor display in a neat fashion,
Sure.
because that is all that is given to us in that section.
And how many cars would actually fit on each of those pods?
Just one was ever intended.
20-foot diameter, so
Yeah.
that's about it, yeah.
So Robbie, I mean, Automaster has a whole parking lot.
2 smart cars.
I know,
Is that-
I know, I was saying that, I would want to restrict them with 1 per pod.
Yeah,
Well, I was
we have
just,
smaller cars coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, we're trying to utilize the space that we have. The building was built in 1990 with a setback that is, huge. You got Kenny Drive in front of us, and so without paving our front yard,
Robbie, I'm just
Sorry.
curious, is
that's right.
Automaster grandfathered in, or how did, I mean, no, because they added that front parking lot not too long ago. You don't know?
They are definitely 10 feet. I'm not gonna. They're great friends.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult for me to understand a 170-foot setback with vehicle display.
All right, so I propose we strike that, line item 3. What does the board think?
Well, I'm just trying to understand how if it's being applied evenly, and it doesn't seem like it.
That's why I want to strike it, I agree.
Okay.
And I would not want to limit them on one car per pod, because if you get small cars in a couple years, you would want to show in one pod you could put 2 cars where one previously fit.
But would that be a neat display of 2 cars? Is the
I would not
question.
want to restrict them or get in the way of them trying to promote that. And that would be very
Okay.
neat.
Because they'd be squeezed together.
Generally, they are pretty fussy about how they display the cars.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
there's not that much you can do with the car.
I agree.
All right.
Yep.
What do you guys think?
I'm in favor of that.
Okay, I can be persuaded.
Yeah?
On the fence.
Okay.
Okay. You're on the fence. Okay. So then I will repeat my motion, but without condition 3. I mean, I think I'm persuaded that we can take condition 3 out. So all those in favor? Oh no, did somebody second it? Yes.
I
No,
did
Jim
earlier
seconded
before
the first motion. This is the motion to indicate approval, and then there will be 2 conditions as previously mentioned. So Jeff seconded. Okay. All those in favour?
Aye.
Aye. What did you do, David?
Yes.
You did, okay. Just because Marianne's not here, so. Okay, we got there.
Great.
Thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda is application BLA 18-03. It's an application by JCK Properties LLC for a boundary line adjustment to merge 2 adjacent parcels. The property at 3537 Harbour Road is located in the Rural District and the Lakeshore Overlay District. Is there anybody here to tell us about this?
Yes.
Yep. So if you can stand up and I'll swear you in.
Oh, sure.
If you raise your right hand, do you hereby swear or affirm that the evidence that you will give in the cause under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury?
I do.
Okay. Okay. You can just, I mean, it seems fairly straightforward. Does anybody have questions?
Well, that's just.
We're going to
Here-
just listen to
here
an
a summary,
overview?
sure.
Okay.
So we're just looking to merge the 2 lots, which would be up, I don't know if you have in front of you, but
Should do.
I don't know why the lot was split at some point before we owned it, but it really acts as 1 lot now. And we're looking to combine them into 1.
So where's the current property line
It-
on the wall?
It's not on this, do we have the other, you know? It's right about here.
Here, some of-
On your staff report, I think you had,
So on the front cover of the staff report, it wasn't,
Yeah.
yeah, but does it print in color? No.
You can see it there.
There we go.
yep. So this is
Yep.
the current property line.
Okay.
We just want to practice the new technology so our viewers at home can see this.
Yeah.
Are they seeing it?
Seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, cool.
Robbie, you didn't have any concerns?
No, this seemed like a straightforward boundary line adjustment application. And with the lots combining, I mean, there, no non-conforming lots are being discussed here. Combined, it'd be more towards that 5-acre minimum in the rural district. And so it's still, the minimum lot size, it's still fine, but it'd be moving towards conformity for the district.
So I would make a motion to finalize the record for application BLA 1802 and a motion to indicate in approval of the boundary line adjustment for application BLA 1803 with the one condition that the Mylar shall be recorded within 180 days of the approval.
Second that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So the next item on the agenda is application SUB 12-04R4. It's an application by Shawn Sweeney on behalf of Lolita Holdings LLC for sketch plan review of a 2-lot re-subdivision in a mixed-use PUD. The property at 5059 and 5061 Shelburne Road is located in the Village Centre District, the Village Core Overlay District, the Village Design Review Overlay District, and the Stormwater Overlay District. Swear you in. Do hereby swear or affirm that the evidence you're about to give in the cause under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury?
I will, and I do.
Thank you. So just introduce yourself and
My name's Shawn
tell us what you
Sweeney.
want to do.
I own Sweeney Design Build and the white original Harrington house, and then the old chicken coop, which is now my office space, which I bought about 3 years ago. And the subdivision that I'm asking for is simply, when I bought the place, I got one loan for the whole property, but I want to subdivide it so I can get a mortgage for the residential section, which would allow me to have a more affordable mortgage and a mortgage for the carriage barn, which is a commercial property. So it just allows me to split the two, and that's the only reason that I'm asking for the subdivision. And no changes. We did an extensive renovation to both spots, and that's it. Any questions?
Didn't have concerns at all.
Or concerns?
Staff hasn't noted any questions or concerns, so, the applicant has been in contact with staff about this density requirement as with PUDs. It's the original holder of the PUD in certain instances controls the density, and that would be something that the applicant would have to provide at a later stage, a formalized letter that says that the holder, Champlain Housing Trust, has conferred the density to Shawn Sweeney, and that this is an acceptable density, and that the request is acceptable as well.
And I have email correspondence with Michael Monty, who's the president of Champlain Housing Trust, and he has and sees no issues with granting me the density for this, and is happy to sign the letter when that time comes.
Pretty straightforward. So I will move to classify sketch plan application SUB 1204R4 as a major subdivision. And a motion to authorize the applicant to prepare a preliminary plan application and to finalize the record and close the hearing for this, with the 3 conditions that are indicated on the staff report.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, DRB. I'm glad I was here on your last night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
would like to say one other thing while we're on the record. I'd like to thank Lisa Lamontia for her service. She's resigned from the board as well, and just to let our vast viewing audience know that we now have 2 open positions on the board, as far as I know. Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks, Lisa.
Any other business? Nope. Okay, then,
Anything to discuss or sign, or?
Yep. We can do it after. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
so then I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.